Did stream just stop? Are we back? Are we back? We good? What? Wait, I'm sitting here getting ready to restart and stream just died. Okay, I'm back. That wasn't my internet going out. Or maybe it was just a blip. Okay, as long as I'm back, as long as we're still good. But yeah, no, that's that's my first time dying to look at chat. You're fine. Like I guess I just will not look at chat during that section. I'll wait. Wait, what do you mean by the boyfriends broke up? Or are you just talking about others? Hey, you went dead. Yeah, I noticed. I noticed. It was only I think it was only for like a second. I don't think it was for too long. As long as we're back up and stable, and I'm looking at OBS right now, and it says we're stable. So yeah, because the music didn't even pause. Like I'm streaming the music, so if my internet died, well, I guess it preloads like 30 seconds ahead. And if I was only down for like a second, it wouldn't have been enough. Anyway, let's quickly jump into another run. No, I'm not ending. It was just a blip. We're gonna keep going. Samurai lands between. Get my shade skin. Good to go. Oh, that didn't ruin Life Split, did it? Is Life Split still good? Yeah, okay, Life Split's still good. Whew. I would have been a pain in the ass if that broke Life Split. Seems stable now. Good. Well, great. Because it counted as a full reset, we're about to have ads start. Because, you know, I have ads start at the very beginning of stream, usually during my loading screen, so it doesn't affect anyone. So. Get ready for a little bit of ads. That kind of sucks. Oh well. It should still give me like like the 20 minutes we had before the next ad break. Should still give me an extra 20 minutes. You're free of the jail for another few weeks at least? What jail? Also, I find it funny that you spelled jail G-A-O-L. You spelled it Old English, which is how Elden Ring spells jail. Or just did Final Fantasy put something in? Oh, you're talking about the Bloodborne jails. Okay, well, yeah, I guess it's Bloodborne. They spell it that way, too. Also, I got bow cancel. Let's go. 14 in Bloodborne. Yeah, dude. Everybody loves using Old English. Miyazaki is no different. He uses Old English through all of his things. That's why everybody says skidoo tree and skidoo. You hear it's like, oh, it's the Elden Ring DLC. Oh yeah, the skidoo trees and the skidoo avatar. And don't get me wrong, I say skidoo because I think it's funny. It's a funny word. Skidoo. I think of Kung Fu Panda, the skadoosh. But in reality, that's just the Old English spelling of shadow. It's pronounced shadow. Well, it's actually pronounced shadow. Because they didn't have a W in Old English. So the U kind of made that like ooh sound rather than O sound. O. It just kind of made an ooh. But that's how you spell shadow, pretty much. But everybody just calls it skidoo, and I think it's funny. And I still call it skidoo. I don't care that it's supposed to be pronounced shadow. It's skidoo to me. Even though I know it's supposed to pronounce shadow, doesn't change it. It's still skidoo. Also have a literature degree and love Shakespeare. Yeah, that'll do it too. You're probably pretty used to Old English and Old English spelling then. I mean, that's also why you have the enemy name of abductor virgins. The Iron Maiden looking enemies. They're called abductor virgins. And it's actually because of kind of an old English, an alternative, though we use the term Iron Maidens when we refer to like the torture, the specific torture device. We say Iron Maidens. Another term that they were called was Iron Virgins. That is a secondary name that they had. And that is why, also with the aspect of maidens being like a specific term for those who guide people with grace. You know, maidenless. Melanaxes are maiden. Like, Maidens already kind of has a terminology in Elden Ring. So they couldn't really call it Iron Maidens. Luckily, its second name is Iron Virgins. And so they called them the Abductor Virgins. Not many people know that, so it was just really weird when people looked at the names and were like, they're called virgins? Everyone's like, why? But yeah, it's another old... a mix between Old English and just alternative naming. Maiden and... Yeah, Maiden and Virgin were also... Like, depending on where you lived, maiden meant virgin. Like, you were a maiden. You were unmarried. You were... If you weren't a maiden, you were either a wife or a concubine. Which means that you were not a virgin. Yeah, like... So, yeah. Old English, they were interchangeable. Iron Maidens, Iron Virgins, they were interchangeable. They were called both those things. I think it just throws a lot of people off because the more famous name is Iron Maiden. And not many people know about the alternative Iron Virgin. Makes you also look at like how much the English language has changed. Just in the combining of different languages, different dialects. I see it now. How much everything is kind of just both in spelling and just terminology. You understood Urian J like he was speaking said. Dude, I love the jokes about Urian J. Just, oh my gosh. There was something of like, oh, it was a video where it's just like, it was Final Fantasy in 10 minutes, like entire storyline in like 5 minutes or whatever, and one of the voice lines was just Urianger being like, I doth speak like this too much. You don't you dost not understandeth me. And I'm just like, dude. Like I get he always spoke in like an old English setting, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's like it's a nifty character trait. But there are some times it was just like, dude, can you just stop? Can you just say it normally, please? It's hurting my brain at this point. Dude was definitely a character. I don't know. My favorite character for the longest time, I think, was always Y'shtola. I liked, I don't know. Maybe that tells you what kind of a girl I'm into. I like a girl with a good head on her shoulders. Y'shtola was just always my favorite of just like, okay, well, let's think through this, and I'm like, thank you. Let's stop with the stupid power trip or emotional shit. Let's think through this logically. Her pettiness and wit, yeah, like dude, sometimes her pettiness was just so enjoyable of being like, fine, you're gonna do that, then I'm gonna do this, and it's just honestly, I call it justifiable pettiness in Y'shtola's case. I think it's justifiable pettiness. It still is pettiness, don't get me wrong, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, no, Y'shtola's the type of girl that I want to find. If I had to pick a waifu from that game, probably would be Y'shtola. Given, and maybe this was just because A Realm Reborn was, it's kind of a rough one to get through. It's a rough one for everybody. But A Realm Reborn kind of made me just like dislike a lot of characters. I just found so many of the characters so annoying in A Realm Reborn. And maybe it's just because Y'shtola was the only one that didn't really annoy me. Maybe that was probably it. If you had to pick someone, you'd have trouble. Interesting. I figured you would have had a favorite. There's definitely plenty of good ones. At least afterwards, a lot of them get way, way better. But yeah, I think, let's see, I think Final Fantasy XIV was probably the game I invested, probably my, like, third or fourth, probably my third most play. No, it might be my second. God, when I think about it, I think League, I think League of Legends is still my most played game, but that's just because I played it nonstop back in 20, like I started playing it in 2013. So I played it for a long, long time. And it was one of those games that for a few years I played it like it was almost 100% of my free time went to it. So, I think it still is my most played game, because I don't know exactly how many hours, especially because it's not like there was any way of tracking it in game. And obviously it's not through Steam, so there's no way of tracking it there either. But I know there were some sites that like had estimations and stuff. They were never really accurate. But I'm pretty sure I had around like 4,000 hours in League. And then I think Final Fantasy XIV is my next most played. Because it was the same thing. Final Fantasy XIV for a good amount of time, for multiple years, was one of those games where it's just like 100% of my free time went towards it. It was just like, I'd get home from work and I'd be like, cool, get on and play. So it probably has like the next most. Though I only remember that one in days, because its in-game tracker is in days, not hours. Which is like 100, I think it was around like 120. 120 days? I don't know for sure. Next time I renew my sub, I'll have to check. But it was somewhere in the like, it wasn't 100, I know it wasn't close to 150, but it was a decent way past 100 days. And then after that, I probably would be Hunt Showdown at 17, because that's around 1800. And then it's probably Elden Ring, which is, I honestly don't even know, maybe around 1200. Those are probably my most played games. I think hour-wise, it would probably go League, Final Fantasy XIV, Hunt Showdown, Elden Ring. Which is funny, because if you asked me to rank them and how good they were, I definitely would not be ranking them in the same. League of Legends is not even in my top games in the slightest. Final Fantasy XIV is definitely within my top games, but it's not at the top. It's definitely below Elden Ring and Silksong. Probably below Hunt Showdown and maybe a couple others. Because I have a lot of other favorites, like Terraria's one. I think I have like 800 hours in Terraria. Played the game since 2011 when it first came. It was the first game I ever bought on Steam back in 2011. that is how long I have played Terraria. and I think that game will always hold a special place in my heart. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey shit. Poor Echo. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean by the slash play time of like, well, like I said, I haven't touched the game in like 2 years, so I have no idea what it is, but I think it was somewhere in the 120s. Last I checked, somewhere in the 120s, 120 days was my playtime in 14. I just like video games. Those might be my most played video games, but I mean, I have a lot of different video games under my belt, from a lot of different genres as well. I can say, though, I don't play as wide of a variety as I used to. I think there's just a decent amount of games nowadays that... And maybe that's the AAA over. Maybe it's just because it's like AAA has gone downhill, so it just doesn't feel like there's that wide variety of games anymore. So maybe that's why it feels like I don't play, which is funny because I still do. Like like I said, I play Hunt Showdown off stream. Another game that I've been picking up because it got updated recently was Satisfactory. I've been playing that off stream, and that's an automation game. That's probably like the furthest from Souls or action-based combat you can get. You're literally building. I like crafting survival games. Like I like a wide variety. I think it all just kind of depends. I'll cycle through moods, and I'll go back to old games when they get updates, and it's been like, wow, I haven't played that in a while. I should play it again. So. Playing Resident Evil 2 off stream. Yeah. See, I love the Resident... Well, I like the recent Resident Evil games. I'm a bigger fan of the more recent ones. Because I like the horror shooters. I wasn't a fan of the old ones. When right before 9 came out, I replayed 8. I replayed Village. But Village, there was a point where I was gonna do challenge runs in Resident Evil Village. Like, I enjoyed that game enough. I thought about doing a knife only challenge run in that one. I never did end up doing it, and I don't really have an interest in going to do it now, so it's kind of like a challenge that was like, it was intriguing at the time, but now it's like, there's other challenges I want to do. But yeah, that was... I like almost 100%ed 8 when it came out. And I loved 9. I played 9 on stream. Had a blast. Remake of 2, annoyed at rookie Leon. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just... The kind of over-the-shoulder combat and style. I bought 3 again. God damn it. Because in my old route, I would just push down and buy all 3, and I'm kind of defaulting to that rather than pushing up and buying 2. But yeah, I just didn't like the gameplay of the old Resident Evil games. They were just not interesting to me. But then when 7 came out and they moved over to the first-person horror shooter, I love first-person horror games, so I was all for it. Want to work your way through baby Leon to old man Leon? Starting with Resident Evil 2. Old baby, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed 21-year-old Leon when he first joins the police force. The start at the Raccoon City incident. And then all the way to 9 where he's like 40 years old. He's 40 years old being like, oh, I'm still kicking ass. Day 1 rookie Leon? Yeah. Plus, let's be fair. Leon is the fan favorite of the Resident Evil games. Like, everybody has their favorites. Lots of people love Chris. But, like, Leon is like... That is when everybody thinks Resident Evil, they think Leon. He is like the icon. I mean, he's hot, so I get it. Well, yeah, duh. Like, literally, one of the first mods I saw for the Resident Evil 9 that came out was just shirtless Leon, and that was it. And I was seeing that everywhere, and it was just like, hey, hot people are hot. Like, can't argue with that. I laugh when it pulled up a bunch of the controversy where, like, everybody was just like, everybody was gooning over Leon, and immediately I saw some people pointing out that's just like there were. I mean, nobody pays attention to video game journalists. They lost their credibility forever ago. Let's be fair. But I do think it was funny when a couple people were pointing out how a lot of video game journalists were writing articles like just like they were goon papers about Leon. And people were pointing out, I'm like, by the way, this is the same person who constantly was saying that, like, any attractive female character is, like going off on being like, you can't make females attractive in games and stuff. And all of a sudden, now that it was a man, all of a sudden it was okay. But when it was women, it wasn't. I'm of the opinion of people. You make everybody hot. Doesn't matter if they're male or female. Everybody just needs to be hot as fuck. Let everybody goon. Let everybody be a gooner. I am all for the equality. Let them have hot-ass, sexy male characters. But what? Dude, I'm defaulting to my old route. What am I doing? I was gonna run over and get the academy key. I'm of the opinion, let everyone goon. Let there be sexy women in my video games, and let there be hot as hell men in my video games. And I'm completely straight. I'm 100% straight. But let's be fair. Do I wanna play as like a barbarian with a giant axe, a big scruffy beard, and like a 12-pack and giant biceps? Hell yeah, I do. Like, that just sounds awesome. We lost respect for video game journalists a decade ago. Yeah, dude, they they died when all of a sudden YouTube and the idea that anybody can just, you know, make a comment. Here's a YouTube video. All of a sudden, when you had to not rely on video game journalists for reviews, and people just started making their own reviews and putting them on, like, YouTube, you didn't have to worry about a corporation review. You could get peer reviews. You could get people who like video games just like you are talking about this video. That just killed the entire industry. Let people enjoy their faves. Yeah, dude, it's just like, let people enjoy whatever they want to enjoy. And let's be fair, we're all gamers. Why am I talking to you? I never talk to you. I am There we go. I am distracting myself way too much. I'm sitting here and I'm talking to Bernie. I don't talk to Bernie. I teleport over there, I say, hi, Bernie, and I immediately start smacking. But nah, yeah, I'm of the opinion of just, like, make everyone hot. Just let everyone goon. Who cares? But it's still, and I still laugh that, like, first mod that I see created for Resident Evil 9, shirtless Leon. Why? Because, I mean, dude, it's Leon. As a 100% straight man, I will definitely say, who doesn't want to look at that? Okay, we're slowly at least getting back to Volcano Manor. Should be clear here on out till we get to Noble with no issues. Why not? He pretty? Exactly. But even more so, and then this is where I always hold the opinion, even more so than making attractive characters or making a beautiful, graphically amazing looking game or realistic or what, you gotta make the gameplay good. Gameplay is king. Gameplay should always come first. I find games that have style choices way more appealing than games that try to copy reality. Like, it's like, oh, look how more realistic games can get. Getting a realistic game means nothing anymore. Especially with, like, how Unreal Engine is able to do stuff now. Realistic looking games is not a selling point. I don't think realistic looking games has been a selling point for a long time. It's nowadays, whenever I see a realistic looking game, I'm skeptical more than I am anything else. Because to me, a realistic looking game is like, oh, that's what you're trying to lean into rather than make a good game. You're trying to just make it look like a good game. But I love stylistic games. I mean, that's why I think Silksong looks beautiful. I love the art in Silksong. Elden Ring itself is more of a stylistic game than it is trying to be a realistic looking game. And I love Elden Ring looks beautiful. I love how Elden Ring looks. And it's not really close to realism at all. I think Elden Ring is like that perfect of that perfect as close as realism as you want to get. Without going into the uncanny valley or without just trying to be a realistic looking game with the highest graphics ever. It's like that perfect of no, everything looks just good and it looks like a styled, nicely styled video game. I don't need to see the pores on my character's face. I want to be able to get these cool-ass weapons and cast spells and make bosses explode. Like I want that. I don't care if it's like, oh, but look at the pores. Who cares? Gameplay is king. Feel like story is a big one. I mean, I agree. I am also big on story. I think as a lore person, I am about that story. I do think for me at least, gameplay does trump story. I will very much prefer a good game with a bad story than a bad game with a good story. Like, for sure, that is definitely, like, what I prefer. I think gameplay is king even over story. But story is definitely, like, my second. Story is definitely my second of, like, after a good gameplay, then comes a good story. Graphics, details, style, I think that can all come third. I think first and foremost, the game needs to be fun. Whether it's the mechanics of how the game works or whether it's the gameplay loop. It needs to be engaging and entertaining. Then, I think the story comes next, with being a well-written story. And I say that as, like, Elden Ring is my favorite game, and let's be fair, most people love Elden Ring because it's a great game. They know shit about the story. Elden Ring is kind of famous for people not knowing what the hell the story is. It's kind of famous for that, and yet it still is one of, like, the biggest games of the last decade. It still has beat out even recent games in terms of just how fast it sold and how much it sold. And I think it's generally because, at least for most people, I think most people put gameplay first. I think there's a place to dress up dolls. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that's fine as well. A term is kind of like a synonym that goes with all Elden or all Souls games, and it's called Fashion Souls. Where tons of people don't care about the stats of your armor, and they go for what looks cool. Fashion Souls is definitely a way to play. And I mean, I also played Final Fantasy, and I made outfits like I would try and find things that looked cool. I would make my own stuff. I would look up cosplay or just like other things, get inspired by different ideas, things like that. Like, when it comes to doing fashion in games, I totally get it. I've done my fair share of that as well. Story trumps games. That's why I'm suffering through a lot of Souls likes, because you like the story. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You're much more of a story man than you are a gameplay man. And like I said, not everybody is a gameplay. I think majority of people are gameplay over story. I think majority of people are gameplay over anything. But I mean, there are people out there that would prefer realistic graphics with a shit story and shit gameplay. I genuinely think those people are crazy. If you have a bad story and bad gameplay, but you just love the graphics and that's what keeps bringing you back, I think you're a little crazy, but I mean, you're entitled to your opinion if that's what you like. I think at the bare minimum, it should be story or gameplay. Graphics are usually last on my list. Okay, let's not accidentally walk off the edge this time, because I was looking at chat. Bam. There we go. Look at that. Clean as always. There's a limit to how much good story we're trying. Yeah, I think it's always a balance. Like, even though I say I think majority of people like gameplay over story, I think there's still a balance. If the gameplay is just good, but the story's really shit, I think it's like, if the story's really shit, the gameplay can't be good, it has to be great. If the gameplay's really bad, I don't care how good the story is. If the gameplay is just kinda bad or it's mediocre, but the story's really good, then I'm all for it. Like, I agree. I definitely think it is a balancing act. I'm just, I'm generalizing. I'm saying, like, I think in general. Majority. Which, let's be fair, majority is 51%. Okay, let's do this. Oh, wait. I need to grab these. Think we're good to go. There's also been stories that have ruined good gameplay loops for me. Persona 4 Golden was one of them. I could never get into the Persona games. Story or game. Well, definitely gameplay first. But I am not a fan of menu combats. That's why I couldn't really do a lot of Persona. That's why Final Fantasy, that has never interested me. I am not a fan of menu combat. Even if the story's great, I'm just not a fan of menu combat. That's one of those things where it's like the story is definitely, or the gameplay is definitely trumping the story at that point. Solid. Easy first phase. And second phase. I even tried to take the crit there, but because it was on the stairs and there was a little bit of an elevation difference, it didn't let me take the crit. Which is actually kind of nice that it's like, now I don't have to worry about getting screwed over by the stairs and not letting me get the crit, because it's just a solid enough script. I don't even need the crit to kill him. Oh. Missed one of those jumps. Sad. Loved P3 Leon and... Oh. Stories just hit real close to home. That's fair. Yeah, I think overall it is the balancing act. For me, gameplay holds more weight than story, but it is a balancing act of, like, you gotta have one or the other. And that's why, in terms of, like, Elden Ring, why it is the #1 on my list is because it hits high in both of those categories. It is, in my opinion, like, how the combat works, how the game works and stuff. I love this type of gameplay. I love games. What would be the proper term? I think for them. I love I'm stumbling to think what would be the best descriptive word here. I don't want to say reactionary games. It's like live input games. I like games where your stuff is deliberate. Like, I push a button to do a light attack. I push a different button to do a heavy attack. and I have to react to enemies performing their own attacks. It's not just like a game of stats and casting abilities or whatever. It's I like to be in the fight. I like to see them do moves and I have to dodge or counter. I like to do moves and try and find the openings. I like the live gameplay rather than the menu. Or, and I'll say this, like I said, I was a big fan. I don't need to. I I, I love Final Fantasy 14, but dead ass, in my opinion, it has shit combat. It does. The one push combo 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 4 1 2 3 1, that type of gameplay I think is I think kind of sucks. It's not, it's boring. I do not like, I love Final Fantasy 14 for a lot of different reasons. The combat was not one of them. Now, I loved running Savages, but when it came to the combat of Final Fantasy, it was a puzzle. That's what I liked about it. I liked to figure out, okay, where do I need to stand to not get hit? Where do I need, when should I activate my buff? And in what sequence and stuff like that. It was a puzzle. But when the attitude around that is go watch a video on how to do it, and now, and like at that point, it's okay, how much of a robot can you be? And that's the entire combat system. How much of a robot can you be? How accurately can you keep just pushing 1 2 3 4 while you walk to the right spot at the right time? And that, overall, that's very boring to me. I like to figure it out and put it together. That's what I found fun and entertaining about Final Fantasy combat. But I will not say that it... As much as I love Final Fantasy 14, I will not say that it has good combat. I very much love the more hands-on combat. Huge fan of this game. Nice. Awesome that you're a fan. Good to know. Good to know. I need to level up. Am I? Oh, I never popped my 9. I'm just like, I should not be this low. I never popped my 9. Alrighty. Be kind to me, Rykard. Don't give me Eruption, don't give me Rancor, please. No, don't do this. Yep, he's gonna do it. Yep. I have no way of dodging that. And usually whenever he spits, 9 times out of 10, he will do Earthquake. I should have just mogged the moment I saw him spitting. I should have just warped out. Well, shit, now it's... now it's nigh. It's late. I've already gone past what I normally would go. I don't think I have time for another 2 hours from now. Are you kidding me? Honestly, I'm surprised I mean, I said I would go for longer than normal, and I kind of did. I can't really tell how long I've been going for though because my stream reset and it only has an hour. I don't know how long the previous stream was. Let's see. I started. Okay, so it's been almost 5 hours. No, no, it has been 5 hours. No, it is what it is. Maybe I shouldn't double up. Maybe I shouldn't be trying Silksong Steel Soul and Elden Ring Hitless in the same day. Maybe I do need to separate them. Maybe I should. So, but yeah, it's now getting late, at least for me. Hi, Guppy. I think Guppy wants some food. Huh, Guppy? You want to say hi to stream? Want to say hi? Is that a no? He made the tiniest little like me. I don't know if you heard it. Probably didn't hear it with the music. But yep, our little resident Gupster. Our little resident Gupster. Yeah, he probably wants food. It's late enough. He's probably bugging me for a little bit of food, aren't you? Huh. But yeah, I think that's where I should end it, and then we'll be back on Saturday, and I think I should not mix the games. So I think we'll be back on Saturday with just we'll do more Elden Ring Hitless. Go feed the baby. Yeah, I need to go feed the baby. Yeah, you ain't such a baby anymore, though, are you? You're. I have to think for a second. You're over 4 years old. Like 4.5 years old. But yeah, so we'll be back Saturday. Um, we'll be back Saturday. Probably do more Elden Ring Hitless. I will probably have the exact same stream title. I might be going crazy because genuinely, I might be going crazy. I still haven't completed Hitless, and it's I don't know. It might drive me insane just because like I know for a fact in my head I know for a fact I should have this done by now. I have been plenty capable of completing it. There's no reason I have completed it plenty of times segmented. For whatever reason, there's just something every single time that I just fumble or that I choke or that like performance anxiety gets me. I don't know what it is. I know I should have it done and I still don't. And it's starting to annoy me that I don't have it done yet. So I might be going crazy. But we'll be back Saturday and we'll do more of it then. Until then, it's been great, Rain. Lovely talking to you as always. Hope things start getting better for you. And then yeah, again, whenever you want to start some Elden Ring, I'll give you like a full training arc. Even if you want to go through the game solo, by all means. I'll give you like a training arc and then send you off and see how you do. Or we can do a co-op playthrough. If that feels like it would be more appealing, then I can just whisper the lore in your ear the entire time. Finish Bloodborne. Oh yeah, finish Blood. You need to finish Lies of P too. Didn't you say you still haven't finished it? You need to finish Lies of P too. Oh, but yeah. that's gonna be it for today. Thank you for hanging out. It's always a pleasure. Same with you lurkers. I see you lurkers. It's always a wonderful time. I will see you guys working on it. Fair. What I mean, you got to get back into streaming first. With everything that went on. True. Anyway, I will catch you guys later. I'll catch you guys on Saturday. Okay, Guppy, you can't do that. I'm coming. Give me a second. I'll catch you guys on Saturday. We'll be back with more Elden Ring Hitless. Until then, as always, have a good one. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Have a wonderful rest of the week, as we will see you on the weekend. Until then, peace.